And when you're on Power Schools, you can also see attendance records and be able to tell if
all the other buildings throughout the district. And she had previously been, before my employment, the dean of students.
What's the first thing that jumped out at you?
The statements.
Which
the
one?
Blood everywhere is what I noticed first. The world is dead. My life is useless. Those were the things that stood out to me.
Okay. So, was the decision made to call that student's parents?
Yes.
Okay. And who made the decision?
Shawn had made that decision.
Okay. And were you there when he made that phone call?
I was, yes.
All right. And we have evidence to suggest it was at 9:24 and 9:27 a.m. when phone calls were made. Does that sound right to you?
Yes.
Were you in the office when the calls were made?
I was, yes.
Okay. Were you in the office when a portion of the phone call was on speakerphone?
I was, yes.
Tell us what you recall from that conversation.
So I recall Mr. Hopkins putting the phone on speaker so that the conversation could be had collectively. And so Shawn Hopkins had introduced myself and said we were there with Ethan. And during that conversation, he had forwarded the email that we got of this assignment to his mother.
Is that the defendant, Jennifer Crumley?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So that she could see it in real time while we were having the conversation.
Okay. Did the defendant make any statements regarding that?
I believe she said, "What were you thinking? Why did you do this?"
Okay. And that was while on the speakerphone where her son would be able to hear it?
Yes.
Okay. At some point, the defendant and her husband arrived at the school?
Correct.
Okay. So, now, what was your expectation of what was to occur at the meeting with James and Jennifer Crumley at the school?
So my understanding was that we were going to discuss what would be best to move forward next for getting him some additional help, and that would be happening that afternoon.
Okay. As in happening that afternoon, what does that mean?
That he would be leaving from the parent meeting with his parents.
Okay.
Throughout the conversation, I had overheard his parents confirm the things that Ethan was sharing with us in his office that were kind of explaining the drawings and the words that he had written that supported him feeling sad. We were discussing what to do moving forward, and so his recommendation was that Ethan receive outside counseling as soon as possible today, if possible, meaning the 30th.
Mm-hmm.
And the response to that was, we can't take him anywhere today, we have to go back to work.
And who said that?
Mrs. Crumley said that.
The defendant did?
Yes.
Okay. What was your reaction to that?
It seemed a little odd based on my experiences in previous similar parent meetings when students are being seen for mental health.
So you said you had the backpack with you and you provided it to the student? Okay. At any point, did anybody request to search the backpack?
They did not.
And did you search the backpack yourself?
I did not. It wasn't necessary or rise to the occasion that I do that because I didn't have any reasonable suspicion.
Okay.